on ET.
I could talk about Nielsen's, I could talk about ratings, I could talk about slot this, slot that.
It's a fight to the finish in the fall TV wars, from the clones of Friends.
It's not a sitcom, it's a hitcom.
To trips off the planet.
We make up a lot of stuff. Hopefully you won't know that.
We've got the shows looking for laughs from a guy with a rabbit.
I'm just a mischievous little schoolboy.
To a lady named Cleghorn.
I'm used to people loving me, and the critics hated me.
Some shows bring a weird world to the table.
I said stop!
While others have a redneck ring.
If you smoked during your wedding, you might be a redneck.
It's the new big guns from every network, and we're here to sort them out for you on Entertainment Tonight this weekend. Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining us for this special edition of Entertainment Tonight. It's our preview of the fall TV season. I'm Julie Moran.
And I'm Bob Goen. In the next hour, we're going to be sneaking you onto studio sets all over Hollywood for all the hot new shows, the hot faces of fall '95. But we begin with the big hit from last year, the NBC hot sitcom Friends. And looking at the fall schedule, if imitation is the sincerest form of flattery, Friends should be mighty flattered.
I would say it is like Friends, you know?
Friends, I'm not familiar with that. Is that a television show?
I like them. They're my friends.
Well, could you tell your friends not to crap on my air conditioner?
One word seems to describe a lot of the new fall sitcoms, and that word is Friends. Last season's surprise hit has now spawned the inevitable imitators, all working hard to set themselves apart from the pack.
You can't cage me. I'm Caroline Duffy.
Caroline in the City is one of this season's most anticipated new sitcoms. Starring Leah Thompson, it's about the travails of her life as she looks for love.
I gotta say, Leah Thompson is the most spontaneous, wacky kind of gal.
Of all the classrooms in all the towns of all the world, she walks into mine.
Misery Loves Company moves the Friends concept to the more mature male perspective. This sitcom's about four middle-aged men and their worries about women.
It's like those 1-900 lines where it's like, hi, call me and find out what girls love to talk about. Well, it's like, tune into Fox, put on Misery Loves Company to find out what guys really think.
Trust me, this is a date.
This is not a date. I was bored, I was curious, I was feeling a little naughty, I'm ashamed of myself, and frankly, I don't know you very well, but I'm ashamed of you too.
Elizabeth McGovern and Hank Azaria star in If Not For You, about a couple in love, but unfortunately engaged to other people.
So I felt that I've been rehearsing all my life to play the part of a woman going from one relationship to the next.
Can you believe Dionne Warwick got involved with this psychic thing? Man, she must have blown out her pipes.
Nancy McKeon comes back to TV in Can't Hurry Love.
Yeah, piece of cake.
Nancy and her three friends find themselves with a new crisis each week, something like those other friends.
I just love this. I'm so privileged to be able to make a living at what I love to do.
She leaves me a message on my machine. Is that perfect or what?
John Cryer co-stars in Partners, about a couple of buddies who become closer than ever when one of them gets engaged. For this show, the Friends connection is in the family.
We are produced by two of the supervising producers of Friends and directed by the director of Friends, so we're going to get comparisons. We just have to deal with that.
I know. Excuse me, I hope you don't mind me saying that you've got your laser set on stunning.
The Drew Carey Show is kind of like a simple man's Friends. Set in Cleveland, Carey, who prides himself on being an average guy, strives to make the most of his average life and job.
You know, stuff like this doesn't happen to regular people. I'm like, my friends all want to kill me.
Well, some of those Friends clones have already made it to the air. Those still upcoming, however. Can't Hurry Love debuts Monday night on CBS. Caroline in the City is this Thursday night on NBC, and Misery Loves Company premieres on Sunday, October 1st on the Fox network.
One new show getting plenty of early buzz this fall owes a tip of the hat to Friends as well. The Single Guy stars Jonathan Silverman as, you guessed it, a single guy, saddled with lots of married friends. And to show you what really happens in launching a brand new fall show, we spent a single week in the life of a single guy.
Oh, hi. Gosh, I was just singing the theme song to Entertainment Tonight. How ironic, and here you are. Welcome to a week in the life of a brand spanking new show entitled The Single Guy. It's not a sitcom, it's a hitcom.
This week we have the pleasure of having an Entertainment Tonight crew here shooting.
because this script has been nominated for a Pulitzer Prize.
Monday, the day that we sit around and read the material for the first time, there's sort of a giddy excitement in the air.
A sweater like this has to be worn. Look, that's a squirrel.
Jonathan is beyond reproach. Believe me, this fella can do no wrong in my estimation.
There should be a wall here, because I shouldn't be able to walk from the hallway into somebody's apartment. Then comes Tuesday, and it gets a bit frustrating. We dissect every possible aspect of the show.
Hi.
Hey, this is for you.
Oh, yeah, let's start again. Can you start from over there? Okay, let's go back to the top. Let's do it again. I'll get rid of it.
And Wednesday, we come back, and things slowly start to make sense.
Yeah, I mean, you two have fun together.
Me and Johnny? Without you?
Well, tomorrow they start focusing on the technical aspects of setting the cameras where they want them. The 4 cameras, and they'll start camera blocking.
All set. Remember, guys, you're thinking about clearing yourself on this one from the V camera?
From here, right?
Yeah.
Move this over here.
Yeah, that's important. Okay.
But what about entertainment tonight?
No, we don't care about that.
We don't care about entertainment.
We'll photograph them.
Hell, we don't. We
All
care.
set, and action.
Come Friday, like today, we have to worry about how we look. We have to worry whether we're bloated or if we've got dark circles under our eyes.
It's very important to have poof in sitcom hair.
You put some butts in the chairs and get the lights on, and man, it's showtime.
Mr. Jonathan Silver, what a hell!
I think looking back at the week, what stands out is nausea.
Good night, everybody.
Well, it turns out that beyond owing thanks to Friends for its young and single theme, The Single Guy will also owe a debt of gratitude to Friends for its lead-in audience. The Single Guy premieres on NBC right after Friends this Thursday.
One nice thing about the fall, beyond that whole football and leaves turning thing, is that you can always count on some newcomers to television turning into big stars overnight. Well, we have put our money on a few, and they are buried deep within the recesses of the ET net.
He's a maverick, he's a pilot, he's an astronaut, he's kind of everything all sort of wrapped into one.
Look for the career of Stephen Eckholt to blast off this fall. He's playing the firebrand son of William Devane on The Monroes.
Easy on that sauce. What this country needs is leaders.
And that means you.
People like me, yes, and people like you.
A relative newcomer with Melrose Place and LA Law on his resume, Stephen promises that this series, which revolves around a Kennedy-esque political family, will win votes with viewers.
There are a lot of similarities, but I think it's much more than that. I think it's TV, so we can be much more interesting than the Kennedys.
My aunt probably told you I'm this brainy, successful Hollywood writer, and I come in yammering like a dingling, and there I go doing it again.
Are you in a 12-step program?
Another face uncovered in The Net belongs to Almost Perfect's Nancy Travis.
I am not a princess, and I forbid anyone to say that I am.
She's playing a headstrong producer of a TV cop show who finds herself in an arresting relationship with a DA. This is Nancy's first go-round with series television, and she admits she's become a fast student.
If you asked me a couple months ago anything about television, I wouldn't have known anything. But now I can talk about Nielsen's, I can talk about ratings, I can talk about slot this, slot that. So I'm into it now.
You should be reading comic books, turning your eyelids inside out, blowing milk out your nose.
Good doctorly advice from TV's newest shrink, Rondell Sheridan. Playing a child psychologist with a few quirks of his own on minor adjustments, Rondell's a veteran stand-up comic who's been compared to The Cause.
If you tell me I'm like Cosby, thank you. Thank you very much. Give me the check and I'll say Jell-O.
With the show airing Sunday nights, Rondell's confident that he's got the right cure.
You've already gone to church, you've already barbecued, you're laying back, you're ready to be entertained. That's our job. That's our motto. We're going to entertain you.
Well, Rondell is only one new face from the stand-up comedy stage, finding his way onto the fall TV schedule.
That's right, and far be it from us to leave the others out. After a short break, we're going to come back with the new fall fraternity of funny men.
Up next, right here.
I have to warn you, I can't find my pills.
That's not going to work a third time.
They got the laughs on the stand-up stage, but can they deliver in prime time? We'll check out the fall's bumper crop of sitcoms.
And still to come, the new fall lineup means weird new worlds to conquer. We'll take you to them.
Plus, a bit later, One show's flying high this fall. We'll get some serious air in the cockpit for JAG a bit later on our fall preview.
David Preston. Oh, you were hoping that I'd call.
There haven't been any big, changes. It's like, we love the show, but do you have to be African American?
That's comedian David Alan Grier talking about his new fall sitcom, The Preston Episodes. Now, David is only one of a whole slew of stand-up comics headlining their own primetime series because, after all, if Roseanne did it, if Tim Allen did it, if Seinfeld did it, if Bob Goen's done it, why not these guys and gals?
This year's crop of stand-up comics moving to sitcoms includes Andrew Clay. He's dropped his X-rated Dice Man persona, at least for prime time, to co-star with Kathy Moriarty in a kind of honeymooners for the 90s.
I have to warn you. I can't find my pills.
I gotta warn you. That's not gonna work a third time.
When I'm doing a show like this, it's not, hey, I'll tell you something, it's a different persona. It's more of a family man in this.
Andrew says he always wanted to do a sitcom before the Dice phenomenon imploded from criticism and controversy.
I'm lucky I came through it straight. I mean, I don't do drugs, I don't drink, so, I was able to keep my marbles together.
Cleghorn, that leg with a C.
Co-star Garrett Morris is rooting for his TV daughter, Ellen Cleghorn, in her first sitcom. Ellen plays a single mom whose parents move in next door.
How's your modeling career going, Victoria? Girl, it's going pretty good.
But Ellen admits some early reviews were brutal.
When they saw the pilot and reviewed it, that really hurt a lot. Because I'm used to people loving me, and the critics hated me, and I didn't know how to take that.
In Simon, Canadian stand-up comic Harland Williams brings his goofy humor to the WB. Simon works at a vintage TV channel and drives his brother Jason Bateman bananas.
But what happens if you not only hit rock bottom, but burrow in several feet?
Well, with Bullwinkle, he grew up like a stalk of corn.
And TV veteran Bateman says the quirky Williams is the real deal.
How could you fake this? This is him.
I'm just a mischievous little schoolboy.
Want more? How about stand-up Jackie Guerra trying to make it in L.A. in First Time Out?
Please tell me you're kidding.
And in the Preston Episodes, in Living Color's David Alan Grier stars as a professor who chucks it all to work at a tabloid.
Just turned 26 Tuesday. Yeah, I had a killer party.
Was there a pony?
Does the competition worry David?
They'll all fall by the wayside. Comics gasping for breath. Their little outfits from their shows falling off of their tattered, torn bodies as I ride into Rome and to victory.
He's something. Not all of the new fall sitcoms are hung on former stand-up comics. The new Sunday night Fox comedy 2 Something features 2 actors, Eric Schaefer and Donald Lardner Ward. In real life, Eric used to be a cab driver and Donald was a bartender.
So TV producers are used to trying to turn someone's stand-up act into a sitcom, but how about turning one line into a sitcom? In the case of comedian turned TV star Jeff Foxworthy, that line is, "You might be a redneck if." You know, as in, if you've ever cut your grass and found a car, you might be a redneck. Now, the challenge facing producers of Jeff's new fall show is making redneck love into a weekly event.
Please welcome Mr. Jeff Foxworthy.
In concert, Jeff Foxworthy is treated more like a rock star than a comedian.
That is the official redneck noise. Woo!
On record, in books and videos, Foxworthy has struck gold with his Southern Fried Redneck checklist.
If you go to the family reunion to meet women, if you smoked during your wedding, you might be a redneck.
I've always said a comic from New York couldn't do You Might Be a Redneck because it was laughing at instead of with. Because I think when I tell these, people look at me and go, he's done half that stuff, you know, and they're right.
Now, Jeff has his own sitcom, playing an easygoing guy with a nice wife, bright kid, and a blue-collar job in an upscale neighborhood.
Do you realize you sound a lot more Southern when you talk to Craig?
Hell yes. It just goes up his butt a mile that he lives next door to Foghorn Leghorn.
But Jeff is promising more than just redneck jokes.
So everybody remembers the redneck jokes, but like when I do a concert, that's like 5 minutes out of 2 hours. And the rest of my act, I talk about my wife and my kids, and you know, so we said, let's have a place where you have a wife, kids, That is great, man.
Jeff says that he knew all too well the jackpot that awaited some stand-up comedians on television.
Oh, sure. I mean, I was the guy, you know, still out there plugging on the road when, you know, Tim Allen's show hit, or Roseanne before that, or Jerry. And it's, you know, as you're out there working, you're sitting there looking, thinking, that's what I want to do.
And he says the timing for the Jeff Foxworthy show is perfect after 11 grueling years on the stand-up circuit.
When you start going on your 3rd billionth frequent flyer mile, I was ready to stay home and be with my kids more, and so, and I'd like to do this a while.
Well, Jeff's show airs on Saturday nights on ABC. He also has a double platinum comedy CD and 6 million selling redneck books. He has a 7th one just coming out.
Wow.
Not bad for a guy who was turned down 6 times on Star Search, I'll tell you that.
That is something.
Yeah.
Well, we wish Jeff and all his redneck friends well. You know, my favorite is you might be a redneck if your dad walks you to school because you're in the same grade.
I like, if your porch collapses and more than 3 dogs are killed, you might be a redneck.
I don't know about that. We are going to take a short break. No more redneck jokes. When we come back, we're traveling a long way from home.
Up next. Exactly how far will networks go to get noticed in the fall free-for-all? Try all the way to other worlds, and we will take you there.
Plus, Monday on ET.
You could do the old instant enema thing. Ever done that one? It's your old butt first in the water and boom, colostomy day.
America's favorite handyman takes to the water and to the skies. Home improvement travels far from home. Monday, only on ET.
Kill the right thruster, you stupid tank.
Those are the high-flying stars of the new Fox show Space Above and Beyond, with the galaxy as their playground. But a sack full of other fall shows also leave behind life as we know it. So fasten your seatbelts for our look at fall TV's trip to other worlds. 4 new shows have something for everyone who is hooked on sci-fi. Space Above and Beyond is a futuristic drama set in the year 2063. Rugged marine fighter pilots are on a mission to stop a race of aliens who are out to conquer the Earth.
And the plots are very interesting, and they tie in with the future and science fiction, because we make up a lot of stuff. Hopefully you won't know that.
The state-of-the-art computer effects in the battle scenes are thrilling, but the actors say their spacesuits leave something to be desired.
40-pound backpacks, helmets, and you're in these 14 hours a day running, you know, a climactic moment of scene, we're gonna die. So I call the show Sweat Above and Beyond.
Got it. Very good. Print it.
In the cyber drama Deadly Games, Leonard Nimoy is not acting, but he is serving as executive producer.
I don't believe we've been introduced.
The series features Back to the Future's Christopher Lloyd as a villain from a video game who comes to life to torment his inventor. Nimoy told us that Star Trek fans should love it.
The show is, I think, a very fresh and interesting mix of science fiction, fantasy, action, and very contemporary comedy. 2 other new shows come back to the real world, but in strange ways.
You smell smoke?
Strange Luck stars D.B. Sweeney as a man who has bizarre intuitive powers and constantly finds himself in precarious situations.
It's one of the things that comes up all the time in the show is like, you know, this incredible event happens to him, and what does he do to sort of get out of it?
What do you want? I want my life back, you bastard.
Bruce Greenwood stars in Nowhere Man. He plays a man who is on the run from evil forces who have stripped him of his identity, and each week he's out to find out who is after him and why.
It's like Twilight Zone with a running character.
These otherworldly ventures on the fall schedule do seem to be reserved for the more adventurous networks. Space Above and Beyond and Strange Luck both air on the Fox network, while Deadly Games and Nowhere Man are on the United Paramount network.
Well, one weird new show has made it onto the fall schedule of the CBS network. American Gothic chronicles the dastardly doings in a make-believe rural town in South Carolina. But maybe the weirdest news about American Gothic is the straight-arrow background and very familiar face of its creator.
Be careful.
I will.
As the youthful detective Joe Hardy, Sean Cassidy was the squeaky clean teen hero, always on the path of goodness.
Don't worry, we'll find her.
Action.
Now, as Cassidy begins a career as producer and writer, that path has made an evil turn indeed.
Shut up, damn it!
Daddy! Daddy! What are you doing? I said stop!
I've always had this sort of dark sensibility. I have a real black sense of humor, and yeah, I'm Irish, so what can I tell you?
American Gothic uses the supernatural to portray a fierce struggle between a small rural town and its power-crazed sheriff, played by Gary Cole. Fans of Cassidy may have a hard time associating the former Hardy Boy with this sometimes violent depiction of evil incarnate. But as the mastermind of all these dark doings, Cassidy suddenly finds he can be held accountable in ways he never thought possible.
This scene is going to give a lot of people out there the wrong impression.
Right. He's a strong man.
People out there watching this show might think that they can actually tape me, and somebody's going to get hurt, and it's going to be your fault.
All running, son.
As for Cole, his evil sheriff spends most of his time pursuing the innocent Lucas Black, but on the set, they've become buddies.
I know we've been working together, so first off, you got any problems with me?
Yeah.
Yeah, what?
I'm too ugly.
I'm too ugly? Okay. Smart kid.
You know, there's something really personally offending to me about someone coming in and tearing apart my room.
Much as he was for the Hardy Boys, Cassidy is the man of the moment for American Gothic, but this time around, his motives are simple.
I want you to be scared when you see this show.
Wow, American Gothic with ex-Hardy Boy Sean Cassidy at the helm premieres this Friday night on CBS.
Okay, we have lots more to show you on our special fall TV preview, and after a short break, we're coming back with the Scales of Justice, Hollywood style. Up next on ET.
You've been here for one day and already you're making courthouse policy.
In front of a judge or out on the street, the fall season sports a heavy caseload for the courts and for the cops. Coming right up.
Kiss my now.
From rough language in court to tough issues on the set.
There'll be some controversy about the whole lesbian aspect.
The fall schedule heats up.
We might take our tops off. We're going to take our tops off.
TV's sexiest shows get sexier.
Here at 90210, we like a loose lip.
While a guy named Clinton makes a cameo.
Morning, Mr. President.
And the critics are already taking their cuts at the fall's new crop.
The jokes are really lame.
We're not done yet with our ET Fall TV preview.
I try to get away, but they keep pulling me back.
Welcome back to our hour-long Fall TV preview here on Entertainment Tonight. I'm Bob Goen.
And I'm Julie Moran. The O.J. Simpson murder case has certainly demonstrated our fascination for crime and courtroom drama. This has not been lost on Hollywood. And the fall TV schedule is filled with enough cops, lawyers, and judges to stuff a courtroom.
You got your naked 15-year-old victim. You got your presence of drugs, your rumors of sexual depravity.
Murder One goes right for the jugular, just like all Stephen Bochco television dramas, and audiences will hear the same kind of gritty dialogue that helped make NYPD Blue a hit.
Kiss my now.
Murder One will concentrate on one case the entire season, and at the head of the defense law firm is graveled voice Daniel Benzali.
He's a combination of a man who's tough-minded and idealistic at the same time.
Well, can they arrest me?
Of course they can.
The court refuses to accept the plea.
Brad Johnson, Patricia Wettig, and Annabeth Gish are three of the stars of Courthouse.
This nice lady here, she's a prosecutor. And she prosecutes sex offenders.
Ms. Gish definitely took notice of Marcia Clark's courtroom demeanor in preparing for her role.
She's really proven what a very professional female attorney can do and can be, you know, so I think she's a very good role model.
Call me Reggie.
Jo Beth Williams brings the memorable lead character from The Client to the small screen this fall, but there is one major difference between the film and the TV show.
she's going to have a new client every week.
JoBeth says those clients will come in all sizes and shapes as she battles the wily and chauvinistic district attorney Roy Fultrig, played by John Hurd. But is Miss Love going to try to win by smiling and batting her eyelashes?
Well, of course I am. That's part of Reggie. I mean, I think part of her charm is that, you know, that Southern female thing.
This isn't the return counter at Marshall Fields.
Pamela Reed stars in the One judicial comedy series, The Home Court. She's a juvenile justice who must balance single parenthood with her duties in court. Is it possible her series, too, was spun off from the real-life trial of the century?
I don't know. Are you inferring something here? Do I look like a woman named Lance?
And finally, there are the guys who bring the bad people into court. One of them is Charlie Grace, starring Mark Harmon, who plays a Magnum PI action-adventure type detective.
Okay, now get out a pencil. Here are the court and cop shows yet to premiere this fall. John Grisham's The Client debuts on Tuesday night on CBS. The much-anticipated Stephen Bochco series Murder One also premieres this Tuesday night on ABC. And look for The Home Court on Saturday, September 30th on NBC.
Now, an attorney of a different sort is the title character in one of the fall's most ambitious new series, JAG. The JAG, by the way, in JAG actually stands for Judge Advocate General, which is Navy speak for attorney. And JAG draws on drama from the courtroom to the cockpit.
Action!
It's been called a cross between Top Gun and A Few Good Men. Loaded with action, steeped in suspense, JAG is one of this fall's most talked about new series for a couple of reasons.
This is the biggest year of my life.
The first, David James Elliott. If the Navy's looking for a new poster boy to beef up its female recruitment, they can stop right now. Lieutenant Harmon Rabb Jr. is their man.
I'm in charge of a possible murder investigation, which gives me the latitude to authorize those rides.
A heart-stopper in his dress whites and not half bad in his flight suit either. David's got his thrusters set to full throttle, but admits that all this newfound stardom has thrown him for a loop.
When it happens fast. I mean, like, you know, I'd always heard that, but being in the throes of it, it's like lightning striking. It's just like...
The other thing about JAG is that while it's made on a TV budget, it has all the look and feel of a high-end feature film. In fact, producer Don Belisario reveals it's a little bit of both.
First thing I've done is I've looked at feature films and looked at action sequences in them. And then I've taken elements of those action sequences so that when I put them together, they don't resemble totally what was originally shot for a film.
Not only are action scenes from such films as Top Gun and Flight of the Intruder used in JAG, but sets constructed for other films are brought in as well.
2,500 yards of closing.
If this interior of a nuclear sub looks at all familiar to you, it should. It's the same one Denzel Washington and Gene Hackman worked on in Crimson Tide.
He stops at the fountain, president in the background.
And lastly, thanks to some TV magic and a little news footage, Lieutenant Rabb will rub shoulders with all sorts of real-life figures every week.
Morning. Morning, Mr. President.
When it's color balanced and complete, it'll appear seamless. It'll look like we shot it right there with Bill Clinton. Hope he sees this.
Well, stand by. JAG takes to the skies over prime time next Saturday night on NBC.
And after a short break, we're coming right back with what's new that used to be taboo.
Coming up next...
You can't be gay. They don't take guys like you.
It's all new rules for prime time with themes you never thought you'd see on TV. Our look at the shows most likely to get people talking this fall.
Excuse me, Paul. I'm going to talk to a real man.
I'm sure Rex is thinking the same thing.
One of the tallest taboos on television has historically been against homosexual characters. But the barriers have slowly been breaking down, and this season a new liberalism has helped gays find their way to prime time.
Now remember, when we're in the courtroom, just tell the truth, the way we rehearsed it.
In The Pursuit of Happiness, Brad Garrett plays a sleazy lawyer. David Burke plays a flight attendant on The Crew, and on Courthouse, Jennifer Lewis plays a judge. The characters they play have one thing in common. They're all gay.
You can't be gay. They don't take guys like you.
Well, I talked to the membership committee. They waived the height requirement. I'm in.
I mean, it's time. I mean, we're ready for that, aren't we? I mean, it's just another part of our society. They're regular people that have regular jobs, have regular feelings.
At GLAAD, the gay and lesbian media watchdog group, they couldn't be happier.
The characters that are on television and the new shows are very exciting because they're just regular characters. They're part of the show.
And what does this have to do with me being gay?
With shows like Melrose Place, NYPD Blue, and Friends, television's closet door began to open a little bit wider.
I'm doing it!
Hey, you get to sleep with her, I get the cramps.
But this season, with shows like The Crew, it may be knocked off its hinges.
Well, there's a closet over there. Why don't you hop back in and give us all a breather for a while?
I wouldn't fit. It's jam-packed with all your ex-husbands.
I hope that you know, what we're doing on TV right now is just the beginning of, you know, of a broader representation of what America really is.
Playing it more seriously is Jennifer Lewis in Courthouse. She wants Judge Rosetta Reed seen as more than just a lesbian.
She's a judge, she's a mother, and she's intelligent.
She was the luckiest little girl alive to have someone like you.
There'll be some controversy about the whole lesbian aspect of the character, but I think it's time basically for people to just get over that and enjoy people being people.
The times they are a-changing. You may remember only 6 short years ago in 1989, opponents organized a boycott over a gay-themed episode of 30-something.
Another trend from this fall's TV schedule, which reads like a bold-faced headline, shows with a media setting. With their backdrops in TV newsrooms, tabloid newspapers, or major magazines, many new shows are using the medium as a message.
Parker. Frank, you only suck up like this when there's a punch coming behind it, so come on.
On CBS's New York News, Mary Tyler Moore plays the no-nonsense editor-in-chief of a Big Apple newspaper. But this hard-driving world is a far cry from her days in Lou Grant's newsroom.
That little WJM darling newsroom, which makes me laugh when I see our set now, how complex it is and how very real it is. But this is drama, and that was comedy.
Nora, Anna. What? It didn't have to be like this, but...
What, are you crazy?
Stars like Anna Nicole Smith and Tom Hanks will be spicing up a new ABC sitcom about a tabloid newspaper. It stars Téa Leoni, and it's called The Naked Truth.
We might take our tops off. We're going to take our tops off.
Téa plays a photojournalist who covers the rich and famous. In real life, she admits to sneaking a peek at the tabs.
I like them. I mean, I don't think that reading the tabloids should replace reading the New York Times. It's sort of like, you know, dinner and dessert. 21 Baker, take 4, Mark.
The world of print journalism is also the setting for the new CBS drama Central Park West. Mariel Hemingway plays a magazine editor trying to succeed in a cutthroat office.
I get to play somebody who has to be tough, who has to be manipulative, and sometimes has to be a bitch.
Right, Al? Today. What the hell is this about a live shot from police headquarters?
UPN's new drama, Live Shot, goes inside the frenzied lives of television journalists. David Burney and Rebecca Staub are the co-anchors with a volatile chemistry.
He's the bumbler, and I'm the one that's always fighting for credibility. It's a real woman in a man's world, and
well,
it's like everything's going to be just right.
Actually what we're talking about.
And a Chicago newsroom is where Bonnie Hunt finds comedy in her new sitcom. Though Bonnie plays an irreverent reporter, she's no Murphy Brown.
I just want to start out by saying I'm so excited you're here because I loved your work in Sister Act. Did you have
These new shows join 2 other current hits on the air using media settings. Murphy Brown, of course, set in a TV newsroom. And from the world of radio, the winner of 5 Emmys last week, Frasier.
Celebrating a birthday on Saturday, September 16th, rocker Richard Marx is 32. Magician David Copperfield turns 39. Actor Ed Begley Jr. is 46 years old. Peter Falk is 68. Blues legend B.B. King turns 70 years old, while actress Lauren Bacall turns 71. And Candid Camera host Alan Funt is 81.
On Sunday, comedian Rita Rudner turns 40. Actor John Ritter is 47. Actress Anne Bancroft is 64. And actor Roddy McDowall turns 67.
It's a laundry room key, front door key, and an engagement ring.
That's Thomas Hayden Church, formerly of Wings, with his new fall TV series on the Fox network, Ned and Stacy. But he's not the only returning face this year, far from it. And we believe in giving equal time to the veterans of primetime.
8 seasons on Who's the Boss made Tony Danza a star. Now he's the boss and executive producer on Hudson Street.
Heat up the coffee, Chris. Heat it up. I want it hot.
Tony plays a cynical New Jersey police detective who's attracted to an idealistic reporter.
It's hoping you win your Pulitzer someday.
And I hope you always get your rat.
It's a different show. It's more adult. It's sexy, which I really like. I'm excited about it. We're up to the challenge.
Betty White moves from the Golden Girls kitchen to the family coffee shop, and maybe this time with Marie Osmond.
Get in here.
I think I have to make a cue here.
No, we can't. You can't. That's show business.
Okay.
This is real
You
life.
have to stay here.
Betty plays a free-spirited grandma who's quick to give advice. She's like that in real life, too.
I'll opinionate all over the place, whether it has anything to do with reality or not.
No more growing pains for Kirk Cameron. He's a college grad raising 3 younger siblings in his new series, Kirk. His real-life wife, Chelsea Noble, plays his sexy neighbor.
I think the best part of it is to go to work in the same car. It saves on gas, and we love being with each other.
Keep trying to get away, but they keep pulling me back. Happy to be back.
Peter Scolari's back on prime time playing a computer genius in Dweebs. He's more comfortable in cyberspace than with the opposite sex.
Lunch. What's that all about?
Playing a techno nerd isn't a stretch.
I actually, you know, have a fair amount of meaningless technical information that, you know, that resides in what is loosely referred to as my memory.
Joey Lawrence made teen hearts throb in Blossom. Now his 2 younger brothers are joining the act in Brotherly Love.
What? What are you looking at? Nothing. It's a shirt, right? No. I was gonna change. So change.
Joey's first grown-up role is a challenge.
We talk about, you know, sex and about a whole bunch of stuff that you know, really shouldn't be talked about around around young men. So, you know.
Very nicely put.
Yeah, exactly.
So who has returned most often to primetime series television? We put our crack research department on the subject, and here's what they came up with. What do you think, Bob?
I'd say it's a tie.
It's a tie between actors Robert Conrad and Harry Morgan. Each has had no less than 10 different TV series on the air.
I have my own crack staff. From the recognizable stars returning to primetime, we move to a few less recognizable faces who have landed on returning shows. In keeping with Hollywood's appetite for plastic surgery, we now proudly present what we're calling our primetime facelifts for fall '95.
I'm trying to develop an artificial heart here, Philip. It takes money.
As Mandy Patinkin prepares to leave behind his Emmy-winning role on Chicago Hope, Christine Lottie is just waiting to make her grand entrance.
What? Hi. Chicago Hope is a real boys club, and it is my intention, my delicious intention to bust up the boys club as much as I can.
Speaking of the boys club, everyone's favorite zip code will be home to 2 new hunks, Cameron Bancroft and Jason Wiles.
I told him to loosen up a little. I said, see, here at 90210, we like it loose lips.
I'm married. We're both grown-ups. If you don't tell your husband, I won't either.
Just across town, Melrose Place welcomes Antonio Sabato Jr., the former soap star and Earth 2 heartthrob who has already become something of a distraction.
Antonio is so charming. So it's really hard not to flirt. And that's certainly not what I'm supposed to be doing.
In a double switcheroo that only Hollywood could pull off, watch for Lacey Goranson to reclaim her role as Becky in the season premiere of Roseanne. And good news for Trekkers. Michael Dorn's stern Klingon, Captain Worf, returns to the intergalactic games on board Deep Space Nine.
I do not play games.
Meanwhile, Ellen gets a new roommate, her cousin, played by Jeremy Piven. Seems he lost his medical residency when he took a poke at a patient.
George Clooney punched a patient on ER, but nobody canned his butt, huh?
You know, the thinking in the minds of the executives back in the tall buildings of all the studios is that if you add a new face or you add a new relationship to an existing show, brings in new life and some new audience appeal as well.
That's a good thought. Yeah. Another show getting a new face for the fall was a big hit at last weekend's Emmys, and Monday on our show, it's a facelift for Frasier.
Monday on ET.
Sex, 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 sex.
Fresh from Emmy success, Frasier and star Kelsey Grammer launch a new season with a new face. It's Mercedes Ruehl as the nasty new boss, sending Frasier to the graveyard shift.
Maybe he's ready to contact a woman on an equal level. He's never done that before.
Good luck.
Cool, yeah, right. Yeah, look up fat chance in the dictionary.
We've got the scoop on the changes for TV's Emmy-winning comedy hit. A fresh face on Frasier, Monday, only on ET.
Production assistance furnished by Delta Airlines. If you're dreaming about Walt Disney World, now Delta has a vacation package to help make your dreams come true. Delta Airlines, you'll love the way we fly.
Production assistance furnished by the GM MasterCard. If you want to save money toward the new GM car or truck of your dreams, don't forget your GM card, today's financial vehicle.
Promotional fee paid by 1-800-COLLECT. Dial it instead of 0 and save people money when you call them Collect. 1-800-COLLECT, the polite way to call Collect.
Next weekend on ET.
Sloth, wrath, pride.
The 7 deadly sins send Brad Pitt and Morgan Freeman on the trail of a serial killer in the new movie 7. But we investigated Brad's bad accident during filming.
Chasing after a guy and the hand went right through the windshield. Just cut him right across the, right here. Cut all of his muscle and ligaments up in there.
Have you ever seen anything like this? No.
Drama on screen and trauma on the set. The Sins of 7, next weekend, only on ET.
Well, we've shown you all the hot shows, all the hot new faces on the fall TV schedule, but we are not the only ones watching, are we, Bob?
Yeah, that's true. Those respected and dreaded TV critics make their living watching TV, and we went to a couple of them to get their picks and pans for fall '95.
I think TV hell would be a good way to describe the new fall season.
The biggest beef from the critics is that too many new comedies are trying to rip off the mega success of Friends.
If you don't make any new friends this season, you're not watching enough TV because every show wants to be your friend this year.
Get it? Okay, but if you have to pick one new show to watch, the two agree, it's Murder One.
It's hard for me to help you when I'm being handled.
The only problem with watching it is that it's running on Thursday nights, so you'll have to choose between Murder One and the smash hit ER.
Well, I think it's going to cut into ER's, magnificence in the ratings quite a bit. But I think ABC will eventually move Murder One to another night.
As for new season surprises, Shales is going with Fox's comedy about a marriage of convenience called Ned and Stacy, while Roush likes UPN's fugitive-like drama called Nowhere Man. As for the worst, Roush rules on Courthouse.
It's gone through major revisions just to get on the air, and it doesn't look like a show that's very healthy on its feet.
Maddie, does this mean you're gonna stick around and watch the fight with us?
Hey, sure!
Hey, who's watching?
Shales is a little more direct, picking Jonathan Silverman's first starring crack at TV, The Single Guy.
It's boring and very predictable, and the jokes are really lame, and he's not very appealing.
I am good.
That was cruel.
Well, they're journalists.
It's boring.
Yeah, I know. What do you like? What are you looking forward to?
I went on the set of JAG, and I think that show is going to be fabulous.
Really?
So, yeah, it really looks great.
Okay.
So I'm looking forward to that.
I think Murder One.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
It's got to go up against ER, but it really has all the making. Stephen Bochco has got the Midas touch. If we eliminate Cop Rock, but other than that, he's got the Midas touch. We'll see what happens.
Well, we're out of time for our special fall TV preview. We're going to leave you with a band which took off thanks to a TV show. Yeah. These are the Rembrandts, and you know the song.
Friends, titled I'll Be There For You.
Bob's favorite.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching.
See you next weekend.
Bye.